Alrighty. Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Should I see you right now?
Now you should.
Yeah, there you are. Hey, Woolie, looking good. Much better than a OBS logo.
Yeah. So, once again, absolutely nothing. Just, whatever. That was a dumb one. But hey, there we are.
Isn't the internet fun? Isn't making mistakes live fun? It's like Saturday Night Live, but nobody laughs when you corpse like Jimmy Fallon.
I yearn for the days when we did this and no one was around. Yeah. Again, it was just, okay, into the mic it goes, and then they'll hear it eventually.
I have to actually disagree. As somebody who says many wrong things fast and
the
loud,
autocorrection. Mm-hmm.
The glance over at like maybe 1,000 people going, what the f are you talking about, you idiot? It's actually really useful.
So no, there are pros and cons to it for sure. And yes, the autocorrection is a wild one, as well as anytime an unfinished thought you can floats into the ether that pops up, but at the same time, there's something simple about the process for sure that used to just be, it doesn't matter what time we decide to record, it doesn't matter what day we start to record, nothing matters. All that matters is the publish button, and now this
it's
matters.
like it just happened. It's like it just happened.
Yeah,
it's like it got magicked out.
Well, everything that I do live was never intended to be live. It just became live by virtue of like showing the process of it getting made. It was always meant for post-release.
You know, there's a person you can blame for that specifically.
Twitch? Bezos?
No, you can blame Mark Zuckerberg for that specifically, because he directed Facebook to lie on all their ad research that showed that video was so much more lucrative than text, even though it wasn't. Which caused the push to video.
Wait, that thing about how people see video streaming, people tune into that more than text, and tune into that more than...
Oh, that was a complete fucking sham by Facebook to push video.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I still remember that. Yeah, and that changed the nature of all social media.
Oh, yeah. And so once video became the de facto, then there was only two forms, video and faster video.
But it is true that when people are scrolling through a feed and then a video auto plays, they are going to stop and look. That's the whole basis of...
No, they're going to stop and go, kill it.
The basic... But the basis of how TikTok and auto scrollers work is on that idea of like, before you have a chance to make a decision on the content, you're already being forced to watch it.
Work on TikTok, because when I see an ad on TikTok, it has hit my eyeball for like less than 100 milliseconds.
Well, I mean,
like it's just,
yeah. But that is to say that the general nature of like, ad or not, your brain doesn't have time to decide. You're watching a thing, and if the first 2 seconds are like, "Hey, God, that's it, stick around, don't scroll," whatever,
No.
Yeah. Well,
no, I use TikTok the way most people use TikTok, which is at the window into a completely dead society. It's awesome.
Well, all this to say that if Zuck did lie about that, then one thing is true for sure is like the Instagram, well, every single social media platform adopting the autoplay, auto scroller is clear that like, well, no, people are clearly using that more than stopping to read text,
Yeah. Well, no, because like text in this case was like articles. Like, remember College Humor?
Yeah, you click on an article to go to go to a different website or so. But that is one thing that's also proven is like getting people going from one place to another, especially if the place they are is comfortable. They don't enjoy doing it, which is why people use TikTok to Google things sometimes.
Yeah, no.
There's an age group that will like post a, "Hey guys, can you answer this question?" instead of going to Google.
I don't think that. So I have a child, which means I'm on teacher TikTok, which I get to see teachers complaining about how the kids are stupid now. First of all, man, the kids are stupid. But second of all, I don't believe that is instead of Google. I believe that is a genre of child that literally does not know how to use non-app functions.
That would make sense too. There's an age where you just know what you've been exposed to, and all you know is the one app.
No, that age is now like 15.
But
Going on 20.
But there's been quite a few years now of the search bar in the app that I'm in, the social media app I'm using, or video app or whatever, is also my life search bar. There's no idea that like there are different places that you might go for some information, you know, or whatever the case. So yeah, learning to internet is who knew, you know, never mind us.
Do you remember that period of time when like all the boomers in your life just offloaded like professional levels of technical labor to like 6-year-olds? Do you remember that?
I was one of those kids.
Do you remember how
I was one of those IT kids that had to do tech support for a bunch of boomers. Yeah, for sure.
Like you, 30, 40-year-old man, it's too hard to learn. It's impossible. Hey, 6-year-old, can you manage my fucking Excel spreadsheets and video shit for me? It's just too hard to learn.
Yeah, no, when mom was asking me about an email problem 10 years later, that was the same one after a decade, I went, stop. You have chosen to not learn this. 10 years later, you've made a decision, even though you use this almost every week. This is a regular part of your life now. You have chosen that you don't care to learn it, and that's your choice. This is not about, I don't understand, it's too hard, because I had exposed myself to this less than you have now, a decade later. You know, when I was explaining how it worked the first time. You need to actually give a shit about the thing you're using constantly if you're going to always be asking for help about it, at the very least. Or decide you don't need it and go, I don't use these things. That's one thing. But if you're constantly using it, fuck off with that. That's crazy.
We're talking about a generation that graduated from high school, got their GED or high school diploma, and went, all right, not only do I never need to learn anything ever again as long as I live, but also I won't need to, because here's a great job I can work at.
Of course, you know. But it's like, I if you never use the thing and then every once in a blue moon you need to, I'll give you some benefit of the doubt. But if you're using it fucking constantly, that's crazy. That's crazy that you won't learn.
My mom uses the Chromebook, and I don't know how she uses it because I could never teach her how to use her own email.
Right.
I genuinely, I don't get it.
Yep.
I've lit like my dad, my dad, me, and my sister all spent what I'm going to say is like a high school computer class level of time trying to teach my mother how to use email addresses to send photos of her kids to her friends over like a period of 10 years. Just never took.
We are still stuck on the step of which things you double click on and which things you single click on, and the difference between where you do that and why. We're still stuck there. There's no.
You know, it's funny because I almost fell into the trap where like I have a baby and I'm like, oh, well, babies are so good with computers. They can lap that shit up no problem. And it's like, oh, actually, no. The reason we got good with computers is because the adults in our lives didn't know how to fucking use them. So we had to learn. And they were hard to use.
Anyway, yeah.
I got to teach my kid how to format a hard drive.
And defrag it.
Yeah.
And
well, depends if you don't really defrag an SSD.
And you know how to open up the case properly and touch the sides and get your static out, you know?
Yes.
Create a perimeter. I mean, like I'm telling you, like there's pictures. I think I might have showed you at some point, like a picture of me in Grenada at like 6 years old or something, holding a Nintendo controller. You know, there's like whatever those baby pictures, and it's like like 3 years after that photo of little scrawny me like playing in in the islands, 3 years later I've got a case open and I'm clicking fucking RAM into place, like it's and moving power supply cables around. Like, come on, man. We can, if you just give the slightest amount of a shit,